Really happy to be here today to welcome you to this first annual and hopefully not the only annual conference on enhancing educational success for children and youth in state care. This topic is so important and it's timely as we work together to implement the provisions and intent of the Every Student Succeeds Act, which recognizes foster youth as a vulnerable and underserved population. Reaching our goals to ensure foster children receive a quality education will necessarily require greater collaboration between educational and child welfare agencies and all the rest of us who serve children in care. And while many of us in state agencies chafe at what appears to be myriad federal regulations that sometimes seem to get in the way of producing better outcomes, it certainly can be helpful when a federal law like this one addresses red tape and legal barriers to cross-collaboration so that we can work together more productive on issues like this. I think all of us here today are familiar by now with the many studies that have shown, unfortunately, that the odds for succeeding in school are stacked against youth in care. Nationally, only 50% of foster youth complete high school, and of those, only 20% go on to college. The statistics drop into the single digits when you look at the number of former foster youth who actually earn a bachelor's degree. And these poor outcomes are related to a wide range of factors, of course, but a major one is the lack of stability in foster care and educational systems. The effects on children having to be placed outside their community when they can't remain with their own families is too often aggravated by subsequent moves in foster care and in school settings that cause cumulative emotional trauma and have negative impacts on educational outcomes. The rule of thumb is that for every move a child undergoes, that child loses 6 months of learning. This is a prime reason why, on average, most of the kids in foster care end up about 2 years behind their peers educationally. There have also been issues with educational records following kids when they move, and that can delay enrollment in the next school or even affect their graduation. But this situation isn't hopeless. We also know from various studies that positive school experiences can help in counteracting or reducing the traumatic effects on children from abuse, neglect, separation from their families, and lack of permanency. There's encouraging research that also shows that children who have positive educational experiences also have improved physical, intellectual, and social well-being and have much higher chances of becoming successful adults. Our best defense against the lasting negative effects of too many children's foster care experience is to continue strong efforts to strengthen families, keep them together while ensuring the child's safety. But when that isn't possible, we want to place children with relatives, families known to the child, or foster families in their own communities so they don't have to change schools and lose familiar connections while coping with the effects of a forced separation from their family. When kids have to be moved, we want to minimize the number of dislocations while they're in our care. Towards this end, the legislature, DHS, State Department of Education, recognized we could positively impact the educational experiences of children in care in Oklahoma by working together to ensure kids' educational information is incorporated into their child welfare files and vice versa. If children's educational needs can't be adequately addressed if vital information and records aren't shared or aren't shared timely. Towards that end, our two agencies have worked out an innovative information sharing agreement to pave the way for critical data exchanges between our systems for the children we are jointly serving. This is an important bureaucracy-reducing step, but there's still so much more we need to do to ensure children in our care have positive educational and social experiences. We have a great number of school-age children and youth in our care who have multiple disabilities, who have special education needs, and who require a high level of behavioral and residential support. The advocacy and collaboration required for these kids is extremely complex, but it's essential that we continue to improve in this area for their well-being and success. Effective parenting techniques are also vital to improved outcomes for children. Foster parents and other caregivers need our continued strong support and resources to provide the behavioral improvement methods and tutoring necessary to support their children's emotional, social, and educational development. I say all the time in a blinding flash of the obvious that DHS cannot do this work alone. To fill the educational gaps in kids' lives will take greater cross-system collaboration between our agency, foster families, provider agencies, the courts, and the educational system. I'm pretty sure that your dedication and passion for children have brought you here today. So let's join together and let's use this first annual conference as a great jumping off point for our collective development of a truly comprehensive, community-wide, and sustained effort to ensure children entrusted to our care receive all the support they need to succeed in school and beyond. Thank you all so much for participating in the conference and in this effort.